A 6-goal thriller that will probably go down as one of the games of the season. Yet we're still, once again, sat here wondering how on earth have we not came away with the win. What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Project Boro, and I'm just becoming emotionally exhausted by this point. I am astounded, I am gobsmacked, I'm dumbfounded by how on earth, again, Middlesbrough Football Club have came away from a game without the 3 points, despite performing absolutely incredibly for the most part, and yet via some ridiculously freak goals, some unbelievable worldies from outside the box, and an own goal that you'll probably never see scored if you tried to replicate it 1,000 times. We've come away from Norwich with a point. And listen, I said in my Project Boro preview show, a lot of things that happened to come true. I said it would be a goal fest. I said Sainz would be a player to look out for. I said I'd be absolutely over the moon with a point, and yet we've come away with a point. But my word, this feels like a defeat. It feels like a gut punch. And, as a game, it was unbelievable. Two very, very, entertaining, enjoyable, fantastic football teams just going absolutely at it. The game was ebbing and flowing from one way to the other. Both teams looked really good on the ball. It was a fantastic game of football, and both teams, can come away thinking that they've played brilliantly. They're both, it was just a great game of football, but I'm obviously going to be talking about it from a Boro point of view, and this is probably one of the hardest games to reflect and review. And I think it's probably the hardest game I've probably had to reflect and review on for a very long time, because performance-wise, individual-wise, this was unbelievable from Boro. This was up there, with one of the best performances I think we've seen under Michael Carrick. Our forward attacking football, some of the passing, some of the creation, some of the chances, some of the goals. We were scintillating. We were absolutely scintillating, and I don't think many teams in the Championship this season will put together a half of football like we did in the first half. I thought we were absolutely magnificent, and we deserved the victory. We deserved it. We were outstanding. So to come away with only a point feels like such a shame. I feel so badly for the Boro players that, not for the first time this season, we've been unbelievable, and we've got no rewards for it, and it's another case. Add it to the long old list of points that have been dropped. So let's delve deep into what was a bonkers game of football. There is so much to get through here, but it didn't actually start all that well for Boro, because Norwich took the lead after 8 minutes, and I said, didn't I, in my preview, and I mentioned Sainz and Josh Sargent, and that Sainz was top goal scorer in the Championship and was involved in everything that Norwich do going forward. Well, this was exactly the case here, because he put Norwich in front after 8 minutes, and it's one of them goals you just sit back and go, fair play. It's refreshing, actually, to see Boro concede a goal that's actually well crafted and well put away, instead of it coming from one of our own individual errors. But play the ball around Rav Vandenberg really well. Dijksteel can't quite get there. And Sainz, well, you can tell why he's the top goal scorer in the league, why he's a man in form, why he's probably, well out in front for being player of the season so far. He strikes it beautifully into the top corner. There is nothing Seny Dieng could do about it. And as I say, you just have to step back and say, an unbelievable goal. And from an unbelievable player, what can you do about a strike that good? But I've got to tell you, Boro's response was unreal. I thought the football and the performance we put in from that moment onwards until the end of the first half was absolutely top draw. It was one of the best, I think, spells or performances or halves I think I've seen from Boro in years under Carrick. I thought we were unbelievable. The play, the reaction, going behind, the way we constantly were just cutting through Norwich at ease, creating chance after chance after chance. We were immense. And one thing that we've not been is ruthless, but we were. This was, for me, a half of what Boro can be, what Boro should be, what we should have been already, and what we still can be going forward. We were absolutely deadly. We created brilliant opportunities, which we've been doing all season, but unlike what we've not been doing this season, we were putting them away. And that just shows what this Boro team can do, how quickly we can put a team away when we have our shooting boots on. And we scored 3 times in response to that, and they were all absolutely brilliant goals. Tommy Conway put us level on 13 minutes, and it was a fantastic cross from the left-hand side. As I've mentioned, Neto Borges has started to really settle into this Boro team, and he put a wicked ball into the box back post, and Tommy Conway finished beautifully, got it on the volley, and sure, it was on target. Question marks over the Norwich goalkeeper, you could say, but it was a very good finish from Tommy Conway, and very important that I think we got level as quickly as we did, and we stemmed any sort of momentum that Norwich were looking to build in them early stages. And then from that moment on, we absolutely took control of the game, and it was a case of how many was it going to be in that first half for Boro. We got ourselves ahead on the 40th minute. Once again, the football here was absolutely fantastic, and the second actually come from a Norwich corner, and this is how you score a counter-attacking goal. The corner was punched out by Senny Dieng. Dijksteel wins the initial header, I think, and then Ben Doak carries the ball what must be 40, 50 yards. I mean, he was just absolutely immense in the first half. Best player on the pitch. Ben Doak was a level above anybody else in that first half, and he carried the ball. He used his pace, he used his strength. They just couldn't catch him. He plays in Dijksteel, who's made a fantastic run. Dijksteel then has the wherewithal to square it perfectly to Tommy Conway, who still, I think awkwardly with how the ball come across his body, still had to finish with his right foot, and he puts it in off the post, and Boro are 2-1 up, and it's the least we deserve. An unbelievable comeback, and then just before the end of the half in stoppage time, Finazaz puts us 3-1 up, and again, Ben Duck causing absolute carnage, ball into the box. It takes a flick off Riley McGree, which I think just makes it slightly awkward for Finazaz, but he still is able to bundle it home, and it caps off what was an absolutely brilliant first half performance from Boro. We had other chances. Riley McGree had a chance. There were chances galore at both ends. I will also mention Sainz had a massive opportunity. I think it was at 2-1. They could have responded instantly just before the end of the half. He was played through down the left, and I had my mortgage on him scoring, but he hits the outside of the post and puts it wide. But you're thinking 3-1 going into the second half, game management, just see the game out. You're expecting a Norwich fight back, and there's always a worry if they get one goal back. There's always a worry that they will then use that momentum to really pile the pressure on for an equaliser at the end. And that's when things started to fall apart. And it all stemmed on one huge moment. And to be fair, Norwich responded extremely well in the second half, but Boro got themselves a penalty at what I think was the perfect time, and it was very, very clever from Riley McGree. He nips in front of Cordoba in the Norwich box. I mentioned in the preview, that the two Norwich centre-backs do have a mistake in them, and Cordoba sort of stuck a leg out carelessly and tripped Riley McGree up, and it was a penalty. And this was the moment. A chance for Tommy Conway to get his first ever career hat-trick, a chance for him to seal the win, 4-1. This would have done it. This would have put the, signed and sealed and delivered one of probably Michael Carrick's best wins away from home as Boro boss, but he misses. And it's a really bad penalty, and I consider Tommy Conway as being our best penalty taker by a mile, and it's a really bad penalty. It's not in either corner, there's not much pace behind it, it's at a comfortable pace, a comfortable height, easily saved by the goalkeeper, and that is the definition of a turning point. That is literally it. How momentum can swing in a game off one moment. This is the perfect example of that. It goes from what should have been 4-1 to 3-2 and 3-3 in a matter of minutes, because up the other end go Norwich. They are buoyed by that penalty save. Still, I would say Boro aren't giving them anything easy. That man, Boro Sainz, steps up again, and for the second time, you just have to sit back and applaud the unbelievable skill and the finish. He cuts in on his right, and I mean, what a strike into the top corner. It's a ridiculous strike for the second time in the game, just after we missed the penalty, and then you are worried. Then you're thinking, there's 20 minutes to go. How the hell are we going to hang on? You're still hoping that we will, because we were still defending pretty well. But as the story goes this season with Middlesbrough Football Club, despite defending well, despite having not much in our own box, the ball just keeps finding a way into the back of our net. And again, it wasn't... It was a freakish cross from the right-hand side. I don't even have the words, really. It's just typical. This would only happen to us, it would seem, this season. Whether this was intentional, I really don't know. Maybe it was an intended short cross. Maybe it was just a miss-hit cross. But Fisher mishits whatever. And Senny Dieng, who, he was getting pelters for this after the game, Senny, but let me just make this clear. He is not at fault for this. His starting position is perfect for the cross, because that's what you would expect. He still does really, really well, I think, to get down into his near post, given the fact the ball dips and bounces just inside his near post. He does really well to react and anticipate, to parry it off his line. But of course, it hits his leg and still goes in the back of the net. And Boro's 2-goal lead, what should have been 3-goal lead, has vanished in a matter of minutes, and we're sat there once again wondering, how on earth have we lost the lead and failed to win this game? It's truly astounding. I honestly, I'm lost for words, to be honest with you. And I know there was a red card later in the game and whatever, but I'm just at a loss. And many times this season, Boro have been in winning positions, or we've battered teams and failed to convert chances to win games. This was the first time this season we've been truly ruthless, and we've shown what we can do to a team when we finish our opportunities. And you'd like to think then finally we would get our rewards for it, which should have been the first team to beat Norwich at home in a calendar year. But we still didn't manage to get it done, because on the one day we do put 3 fabulous goals away, and we should have had 4, we concede 3, 2 were worldies, and 1 was from a cross. Neither were inside Boro's box. Neither were really well, carved open chances that you can say, yep, our defence has been absolutely done. I'm not taking anything away from Boro Sainz. They were 2 utterly outstanding goals. But I mean, how often is he going to put 2 away like that in a game? How often is that cross going to do what it did and ricochet and find its way in the back of the net? It just feels like at the moment, no matter what we do, we just can't get the results that we need. And it's so difficult, because there are weeks where we are rightly to blame, and the team deserve criticism. Michael Carrick maybe deserves criticism, and you have to say, yeah, we have thrown that away ourselves. But today, I feel a real degree of just a mix of not bad luck, but bad luck in a sense that, as I say, how often are goals like this going to go in against you in a game? How often are 3 goals going to go in against you like this in a game? So it's not, I reiterate, I'm not taking anything away from Norwich and Sainz and the goals he scored, but I mean, how often is this going to happen in a game to a team? And I'm just sat here struggling, because there's a part of me that is really, really positive, and I'm really happy with how we played. We were, again, unbelievable. We were absolutely outstanding. I don't think many teams will play as good as that, especially in the first half all season. I really don't, and that is what we've been doing all season. That's what Boro should be. And if we're like that every week, the potential is through the roof of what this team could do. But again, it's so hard to judge and it's so hard to come away positive when, again, we come away without the victory. And I know it's a point from Carrow Road, and I know I said pre-match that I'd be happy with it, but the circumstances and the events within the game just leave me feeling so down and frustrated, because this is just another one on the long list of drop points. And how many times this season are we going to keep saying we played well and we failed to win? We played well, we created all this, and we failed to win. And yet this day is the day where we took chances and looked really good in front of goal, but we still didn't manage to win, and results are the be-all, end-all, and we're just dropping too many points. The list is crazy, given the fact we're 12 games in. The Derby defeat with the Jones back pass, the Pompey draw with Dieng and Clark colliding, the way we lost the lead at home to Preston, the crazy second half capitulation at Watford despite battering them for 75 minutes. Then there was the two really poor goals we conceded to Bristol City, which were their only two chances in the whole game. And then today missing a penalty to put yourselves 4-1 up and somehow drawing with one of the most freakish own goals you'll ever see. I just feel like this is just never ending. This habit is just never ending. When are we gonna start getting the rewards for what has been, for the most part, brilliant football, brilliant performances? And there are still positives by the fact that Tommy Conway got a brace, Lath scored in the last game, Azaz got a goal here, Ben Doak was utterly ridiculous. The whole team, the defence even, again, brilliant, made no mistakes, and yet we're still seeing 3 goals go past us. And you just sat there wondering, when are we going to start getting our rewards? When are we going to start converting these really good performances into wins? Because the number of points we've dropped is borderline ridiculous at this point. So I don't want to sound like I'm ranting and I'm upset, because the team don't deserve it. The team do not deserve to be criticised after this game. There's nothing we could have done about any of the goals. Even Senny, he did all he could for the third and it still found a way in. You just sat there wondering, are we just stupidly unlucky? Are we cursed? Is this just destiny? Is this just how the season is just destined to go? We're just a nearly team who in them big moments cannot get the job done. And I just worry how much this will cost us come the end of the season. All these drop points. Wherever we end up, we're just going to be looking at a big fat what if, unless we achieve promotion. It's just, yeah. I'm finding this game so difficult to sort of, wrap my head around and really review, because 99% of it is incredibly positive, but the bottom line is the result. And to come away from this game without the 3 points, it just feels absolutely demoralising. So anyway, quick look at the Boro team. I mean, I've just got praise for everyone, really. The defence, I thought, and the goalkeeper, again, as they've done for the majority of this season, didn't put a single foot wrong, yet they found goals, were flying past them without them being able to do anything about it. I just don't know what else you can really say at this point. The midfield, I thought, were really good, controlled the game, especially first half. I thought they were absolutely excellent between, Hackney and Morrison. The attackers were outstanding too. Whenever Riley McGree's in the team, our attacking play is just so much better. Azaz was outstanding today, got his goal, which he deserved. Ben Doak was the best player on the pitch by a mile. Doyle will be having absolute nightmares about him in his sleep. He was just an absolute live wire. And Tommy Conway got himself a brace. He took his goals really well. Should have had a hat-trick. I just find it so hard to criticise anyone in this Boro team. The only thing that was brought up post-match was the timing of Michael Carrick's substitutes. The fact that after that missed penalty, Conway and Doak went off and Lath and Jones come on. And what I will say is Isaiah Jones wasn't very good when he come on, I'll be honest. The gap between where he is and where Ben Doak is are levels. They're just so far apart at this point. There's not even a question of who's Boro's starting right-hand-sided footballer at this point. That didn't really get an opportunity in them final 20 minutes, in all honesty, and there's not much else you can say about Ayling, Howson or Hamilton when they come on. But although Carrick's getting pelters that, he took them, arguably our two best players in Dork and Conway off, after the penalty was missed, and he's getting blamed for the game going from what should have been 4-1 to 3-3. Michael Carrick cannot foresee what the hell happened after that. He cannot predict that Sainz is going to score another absolute screamer, and he also can't predict that a freakish cross is going to somehow find its way past Senny Dieng. He can't predict that. What I will say is we weren't as good with the ball after that. As I said, Jones wasn't very good. I know a few were saying that we weren't as good when McGree went off, but it was so late in the game, and momentum and everything. It was just all over the place at this point. There was red cards and all sorts. It was crazy. So I don't think Michael Carrick can take the blame for, again, just goals we just can't avoid with just screamers flying in and across. It's just a freakish result, and I just am again astonished by how we've not won it, and the stats back that up once again. Look at this. We, for once, converted our chances into goals. We had an XG of 3.25, which I think is outstanding. I think creatively that just shows how great we were at carving Norwich open. 15 shots and 8 on target, scoring from 3 of them I think is a pretty good conversion rate. 5 big chances, everything you go. Boro, wow. Everything going forward we've delivered. Norwich, 9 shots, 3 shots on target, 3 goals. They had an XG of 0.6 and they scored 3 goals. That's what I'm saying about how often would this happen. Norwich will not score 3 goals again this season from an XG of 0.6. They're not going to score with 2 Sainz screamers and a cross. It's just mental that it's happened today. It's happened against us, especially after Tommy Conway missed that penalty. It's just... yeah, I'm baffled, I'm bewildered. Again, I'm lost for words, I truly am. And I look at the table, once again, like when we were at Watford a few weeks ago, an open door into the playoffs, and we find a way of bottling it. We were going to be heading 6th when we were leading 3-1, but in the end, both teams end up just gaining a point and staying exactly where they are. So I think both teams, in hindsight, will take a point against one another because we're both two very, very good teams, and a lot of teams will lose at Carrow Road this season. Norwich getting a point against Boro from 3-1 down, they'll absolutely take that. So I think a point for both teams is fine, but the game state and the circumstances and the events just leave me feeling incredibly frustrated. And I know what people will say, and I've seen it from the reaction already, and it's similar to what we've seen already this season. Everything we're seeing is positive. All the attacking play, the creativity, it's all positive, and I get that. And yes, it's all great that we're good on the eye and we're creating chances, and I know we scored them today, which is something we haven't been doing, so that's a positive step in the right direction. But to still somehow fail to win this game, you're just looking up to the heavens and wondering what on earth is going on with us this season. Are we the unluckiest team in the league? Are we just cursed? Are we just destined to just be where we are currently? I don't know. I know them things sound incredibly stupid, but the hope continues to be that we will get our rewards eventually, and if we keep playing like this, and now that we're creating chances, we will start putting teams away, we will start winning games, and we're still only a point outside the playoffs. I get all them positives, but it is just so emotionally draining to sort of pick yourself back up after another game where you're looking up and thinking, just how on earth have we not come away with the 3 points? It's truly just mad. But I'll leave it there. I just want to put this game behind me now because it's truly just messed massively with my head. I guess Boro have took 4 points from Sheffield United and Norwich, which is a brilliant turnaround given the 2 previous defeats, and coming up are teams that we should beat on paper given where they are in the league. I say that at home to a buoyant Coventry side who have coming off the back of a big comeback win, a team who always beat Boro. That's going to be interesting, but you look at where QPR are and their form, and Luton as well. You're looking at the next 3 before the international break and hoping you can win the majority of them, and even coming back after, Oxford away, it'll be a test, but you should be beating Oxford really, and then home games to Blackburn and Hull, who are notably really bad sides on the road this season, especially Blackburn. There's a run of games coming up where you'd like to hope, if things are going to start clicking, please let it happen now, And if we can go into December in the top 6, only a few points off the top 2, results like today will be forgotten about. But I'm sure, as you guys can understand, whether you're a Boro fan or a neutral following the club or following this series, you must be wondering how us Boro fans have any hair left. 12 games in, and I feel like I've already gone through an emotional roller coaster that's a season's worth, if not more. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, guys, and how you sort of perceive this game. Do you look at it with a glass half full? You know, any other day you play this game 100 times, Boro come out as winners comfortably the majority of the time. Do you take the positives from how we played, how we created, how we scored? Or are you just flat out frustrated that this team still can somehow just not convert these performances into wins, even though today I am in the camp that we weren't at fault. It was just a freakish final 20 minutes with 2 screamers and a cross that found its way in. Yeah, astonishing. But I'm going to leave it there. Let me know your point of view in the comments. I'll be very intrigued to hear. And as always, like the video and subscribe to the channel for much, much more. Hit the bell too so you never miss when a video drops. And leave me a comment below, as I say. And if you're listening on the podcast providers, as always, do give me a like, a rating, and a follow over there. It really helps me out. But until next time, guys, I'm going to need a good week off to just somehow wrap my head around this game. I will be back to preview Coventry. I will be back to predict the next round of championship games, and there will be more FIFA gameplay coming up this week. But until next time, guys, I need to lie down. Supporting this football club is one of the toughest, mentally straining things that anyone can do on this planet. I'll see you all in the next one.